So when I was about 5 years old, I went to go feed the homeless with one of my cousins, and I got to see how they live for the first time. And at that age, I thought that everybody had homes, so I was kind of confused. And I asked my parents if we can give them all houses, just not a solution. So we sat down and we talked about what we have on a daily basis that they don't have. And we thought about blessing bags, and that 3 years later turned into Project I Am.
Hello, and welcome to Small Biz Catalyst. I am your host, Ayisat Abilogun. Join me as we explore ways that we as small business owners can pay ourselves a growing six-figure salary without pulling out our hair. Whether you're a small business owner or an economic development professional, this show is for you. Let's explore together. Hi, everyone. I am super excited to have Jahkil Jackson as our guest today on Small Biz Catalyst. For those of you who are long-term listeners, for those of you who are new to this, the purpose of this episode is to promote social entrepreneurship and also highlight teen entrepreneurship. At the end of this episode, we want our listeners to be able to consider social entrepreneurship as an opportunity to make an impact while increasing their revenue. And also, we want to use this episode to promote teen entrepreneurship. We know that entrepreneurship has no specific phase or age or, age recommendation. It's open to everyone, and we hope that this episode really helps you pursue that dream that you want in order to, or do something you love in order to continue to increase the impact that you're making and grow your revenue. So Jahkil is not only a teen entrepreneur, he's also a social entrepreneur. So Jahkil, tell us a little bit about your journey, what got you here, and what you do.
Hey everybody, I'm Jahkil Jackson. I'm 17 years old, and I have a non-profit called Project I Am that builds awareness to homelessness and provides blessing bags for those in need. I started at the age of 8 years old, so almost about to be 9 years, and I'm super excited and looking forward to the anniversary. And we've done over 150,000 blessing bags now, working with over thousands of youth to promote, social entrepreneurship and following their passions as well.
So for those of you who may not know or are wondering what is social entrepreneurship, you know me, I like to pretend we don't understand anything and just start from scratch. Tell us a little bit, what exactly is social entrepreneurship?
So a social entrepreneur is a person who starts a business with the aim of solving social problems or affecting change. So that's kind of where I fall in, creating change. I'm here to make a difference in the world.
So you've been making a difference since you were 8 years old, and now you're 17. That's about 11 years of making a change within the homeless community. I remember when we met about 4 years ago, and you had spoken at one of our conferences. And at that time, you were recruiting teens all over the nation to create what is called a blessing bag that you can give to each homeless person. What's in this blessing bag?
So in a blessing bag is full of toiletry items like soap, tissue, socks, things that can kind of help them on a daily basis and keep them on track and help them through the day. And I think that the blessing bag kind of got created out of me just thinking about the daily necessities that we can sometimes take for granted that they don't even have.
So tell me, I remember your story. You started out, you saw an homeless person and you wanted to make a difference. You just thought you could provide something that they needed and you would solve everyone's problem. Is that true? Or can you walk us a little bit?
So when I was about 5 years old, I went to go feed the homeless with one of my cousins, and I got to see how they live for the first time. And at that age, I thought that everybody had homes, so I was kind of confused. And I asked my parents if we can give them all houses, just not a solution. So we sat down and we talked about what we have on a daily basis that they don't have. And we thought about blessing bags, and that 3 years later turned into Project I Am.
So a heart of compassion towards others got you into what this thing we call social entrepreneurship. And you've grown with it through your teenage years just because you had compassion for others. So I'm really just like taking that in, because a lot of times we always think about business as, okay, I just want to solve this problem, which you are solving a problem, or I just want to make an income. But you started with, and this is really the core of social entrepreneurship, you started with meeting a need of somebody else that you would like to call your neighbor. So I have about 3 questions for you. The first question is, what lessons have you learned as a teenpreneur and a social entrepreneur?
I would say the lessons that I've learned is that networking is key. Speaking up for what you believe in and being open to new things and being ready to pivot at any moment. Those are some things I've learned. I think that during COVID, I had a very pivotal moment where I had to stop having packing parties in person because we just couldn't do that anymore. And that turned to me creating an idea of virtual packing parties, which actually being a great opportunity to engage with youth worldwide. And we've been able to do more blessing bags than we've ever been able to, but with doing them in person, incorporating people, young people from all across the world. So I would say really those are the things that I've learned over the years, being a teen entrepreneur and networking and having to talk to people even when you're uncomfortable.
Now, a little birdie tells me that you are actually an introvert.
Very.
Are you still an introvert? Because I know you've spoken on several platforms. You've spoken at our conference. You actually got to meet President Obama while he was in office.
Yeah.
And I know you've done quite a few things with a bunch of people. Don't worry, I do follow you.
Yeah. I'm definitely still an introvert though. It's kind of hard to believe with all the things that I do, but definitely an introvert.
So dig into that a little bit. How do you, I mean, I wouldn't say overcome your introvert personality, but how do you incorporate being an introvert into someone who's doing so many things on a lot of platforms, globally and also locally? How does that affect your business?
I would say I'm growing up, I had to have a switch where I'm able to, turn it on and go talk to people. And I've always been able to do that. Just knowing that it's important and being forced to really by my parents growing up, learning how to network was key. So I would say that, I mean, the only really effect that it has on the organization, I would say sometimes my introvert personality can cause me to, be shy sometimes in the wrong moments. But most times I've kind of have that like switch where I'm able to, turn it on and go talk to people.
Wow, that's awesome. So here's a secret that's not such a secret. A lot of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, are actually introverts.
Yeah, they are.
And people don't know it because you see them on a platform and you think, oh my gosh, they can talk to everybody or they can do anything.
Yeah.
But they really need time to recharge and, recoup and then kind of prepare themselves for the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I'm taking notes, by the way. I've heard you say twice now that networking is key. So, what are some ways that you network?
So some ways that I network, well, really, I think the first way that I started off networking as a young person was doing vendor events where I would set up tables and have to go and hand out my flyers, tell people about my organization, which was probably the most uncomfortable thing to do at the introvert, having to set up a table in public and walk up to people and tell them to come over to your table, try to sell your items, like my pillows that I used to sell. So I would say that's really the main way that I started off doing, having to network. And then also when I'm in certain rooms with adults and important people, I have to go and network and hand out my business cards and growing up doing stuff like that. Also, I would say another way of networking that I've been able to do is creating a community of is like having a community of young people as my friends who are in the same kind of have the same headspace as me in terms of being social entrepreneurs or just following their passions or being on the right track. I've been able to create a good circle around me, whether that's people from St. Louis, California, New York. I have a good network of people, of young people that I've been able to meet over the years, going out this traveling. So I would say that's another way I've been able to network.
So I was a little curious earlier because I know you are a senior in high school and you're going into college next year. So what are some things, I kind of got a little scoop into this and I wanted to share it with our audience. What are some things that you're doing to prepare for this next step in order to make sure that you not being available does not kill the business? And I'm going to come back to a few things that you said because I know you kind of glossed over a few things.
Yeah.
Not only are you doing Blessing Bag, guys, because that's a nonprofit, but you're also selling swag like t-shirts and different things in order to bring in revenue into the company, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things that you're doing now that your availability might might not be as much as it's always been and your schedule is going to change. What are some things that you're doing to make sure that Project I Am lives beyond your availability or even your new schedule? Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the main thing that we're doing now is branching out so that we'll have Project I Am being ran by different young people all across the country, maybe even across the world one day. That's taking a load off of me because I'm going to college soon and I won't be able to have as much, time with the organization. So
Yes.
I think that that's the big thing right now. Also, selling merchandise and things like that to build revenue. But right now we're focused on branching out.
So would that be kind of like a franchising almost kind of system?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. I can't wait. And if you have information on that, on how people can get involved or apply, please give it to me so I can put it in the show notes. Is that information how to get involved now?
Yeah, so really we're starting off in Atlanta and Baltimore now, I believe. So
Hmm.
hoping to branch out with other young people that I've met over the years across the country. But really, my contact information is really how you can get involved in that as the years, the times goes on, as we expand some more. My website, we are
Okay.
projectiam.com. And also my Instagram, a lot of people can reach out there as well, Jahkil Jackson.
Okay. The website is weareprojectsiam.com. And on social media, you are official project I am, right? Okay. Official project I am. Okay. All right. So I have a few more questions for you. So, what opportunities do you believe you would have missed had you focused on a regular business without a social
I
network?
believe I would have missed out on the feeling of just giving back. That's probably my favorite part about doing this is the feeling I get when I actually give a blessing bag out. The social part kind of gives me a sense of purpose. So I think just just having the opportunity to see the smiles on people's faces and feel like I'm doing, good in the community, which is what I find so important for me. I feel like that's what I would have been missing out on.
That's awesome. Hey there, if you're just joining us, this is Small Biz Catalyst. We would like to invite you into Tag a Business Team. Here's what you need to do: nominate a small business of your choice, tag them on our website at smallbizcatalyst.org. That's small, BIZCATALYST.org. Tell us your name, give us your email address because that's how we'll be able to tell you if you're a winner or not. And then give us a website to a business of your choice. It could be your business or somebody else's. Once you've tagged a business, you'll be entered for a $25 drawing to a local business of your choice. We'll announce winners every month. And now, back to the show. I wanted to dial in a little bit on something we didn't talk about earlier. You do a lot of blessing bags and you give them away and you get a lot of donations, right? And you also, let me make sure. Okay. All right. And then you also raise funds by selling merch like mugs and different things. And you use that to support the business, right? Wow. So, and you're still a 501(c)(3), right? Okay. So I wanted to highlight that because for those of you who are running nonprofits, and I know a lot of nonprofits these days are struggling, there are ways that you can still raise an income and still have revenue to support your organization besides grants. So just wanted to point that out. So my third question for you is, how do you manage a business as a teen
It's tough,
entrepreneur?
to be honest, because I work hard to maintain my grades and I'm the one of the main people on my basketball team, doing work and having a business. So I also have to, sort of work with my parents. I would say they do a great job at managing my schedule. Time management is not something I've mastered, so it's definitely something I'm still working on and trying to stay on top of my grades. Plus, being a basketball player in the organization, it is definitely hard to balance. But we do a good job at trying and progressing towards. perfecting time management, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely a struggle. But we have yeah.
And so you're gonna have to manage all that yourself. So it truly takes a team to be successful. If, as a teenpreneur, as a social entrepreneur, and even in any endeavor that you are. So I mean, I love that you rely on your parents, because I know your mom does your like your arts involvements and your dad your sports. So are there any universities you're looking at right now?
LMU is Loyola Marymount in LA. I like that school a lot. Plus, I've always wanted to live in LA, so it's just like the perfect situation. I also like Howard. I like Syracuse, those type of schools. I also want to go somewhere I can play basketball too. So that's one of the main things to consider. But yeah, I really want to. I like LA a lot.
I hope you get a basketball scholarship wherever you go. And I know you're going to have an awesome experience, because you're going to bring a different insight to whatever community you decide to join. So my bonus question for you is, what advice do you have for today's entrepreneur?
I would say take your time. That's a big one for entrepreneurs. You know, you don't have to jump right in with like this big organization, these big events. You know, you can start off small and find out ways to, you know, adjust your organization. You don't even have to create an organization first. You can start off doing volunteer work to see what you don't like in that organization's system, and you can implement those type of things into yours. I feel like even if you know, start with your organization, I think taking your time and not rushing into things is important, so that, you know, you can have a long lasting organization. You don't want to make like big bad decisions and then your organization depletes. You know, you want to take your time and make sure that while you're trying to reach a certain goal, you're also trying to, you know, prolong the organization and keep it going and inspire other young people as well. So think about that as well.
Jahkil, it's been such a joy and a pleasure to have you on Small Biz Catalyst. And guys, if you want to connect with Jahkil, go to weareprojectim.com, click on contacts, and you can contact him directly. He's also on social media. I know you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, and your official Project I Am. Is there anything else?
Young people don't have to wait until we're adults to be change agents or start our own business, because we can do it right now.
I love it. That is, don't wait to be great. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. So one thing we forgot to mention is you do blessing bags, and you invite teenagers, even younger kids, to join you when you do this. I know you have one on December 3rd, and this will probably air after that. But can people still join you next year?
Next year, for sure, we're going to be doing the same thing, most likely a virtual packing party with people from all across the world joining on a Zoom call at the same time, packing bags.
So how often do you do this? Once a month, or?
Well, the big one happens usually once a year on Giving Tuesday, because we usually, last year we did about 15,000 bags. And then,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, and then this year I think we're doing 20, so I'm really excited for it.
Okay, and Giving Tuesday is December 3rd.
December 3rd.
Okay, that makes sense. And people can join before that.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And then if they still want to get involved by spreading the tentacles of Project I Am, they can still contact you and start doing things with Project I Am.
Yep, for sure.
All right. That's awesome. Thanks for that super information. Thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure. All right, you enjoy your day. I know you've had a lot of activities today. It's okay. Bye, Jahkil. Hey there, if you're just joining us, this is Small Biz Catalyst. We would like to invite you into our Tag a Business team. Here's what you need to do. Nominate a small business of your choice, tag them on our website at smallbizcatalyst.org. That's small, BIZCATALYST.org. Tell us your name, give us your email address, because that's how we'll be able to tell you if you're a winner or not. And then give us a website to a business of your choice. It could be your business or somebody else's. Once you've tagged the business, you'll be entered for a $25 drawing to a local business of your choice. We'll announce winners every month. And now, back to the show.